You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. India and Saudi Arabia have signed a bilateral agreement under which New Delhi has been allocated a quota of 1,75,025 pilgrims for the annual Hajj pilgrimage in 2024. According to an official statement, a total quota of 1,75,025 pilgrims from India has been finalized for Hajj 2024, with 1,40,020 seats being reserved for pilgrims to proceed through Haj Committee, whereas 35,005 pilgrims would be permitted to proceed through private operators. The Saudi side has also appreciated the Indian government's digital initiatives in facilitating and promoting ease and convenience for Hajj pilgrims. The government's initiative for encouraging the participation under the ladies without Mehram category was also discussed and lauded. Notably, India has sent the largest ever contingent of women on Hajj without a male companion last year. Joining us at this point live is Colonel Dr. Zahid Siddiqui, Empower Media panelist, I presume. We also have Athar Zia, social activist, joining us live. Waqar Ahmed, Muslim scholar, is also with us on the broadcast. Waqar, let me begin with you first. What do you make, Waqar, of these numbers, the record number of Hajj pilgrims going this year?
ये बहुत मेरे हम लोग पसमानदा और दलित मुसलमान हैं, अनटचेबल मुसलमान हैं, तो अंग्रेजी हम लोग नहीं पढ़ने दी गई है, तो मैं जरा उर्दू हिंदी में कंफर्टेबल रहूंगा।
आप जी बिल्कुल, आप जो भी भाषा में आप कंफर्टेबल हो उसमें ही आप बोलिए।
देखिए, जो ये हज का कोटा बढ़ाया है, ये तो सीधे सीधे स्वागत योग्य चीज है मोदी जी की। बहुत अच्छा काम है। कोटे में बड़ी दिक्कत होती थी, लोग नंबर लगते थे, कई बार मर जाते थे लोग, नंबर नहीं आ पाता था। ये तो बहुत अच्छी चीज है ये, और इसका पूरे देश से स्वागत होना चाहिए, हज यात्रियों और जो दूसरे लोग भी हैं। जी जी
जी जी बिल्कुल। और वकार, ये जो नंबर्स हैं, ये जो आंकड़े हैं, ये जो बढ़ोतरी हुई है, किस वजह से हुई है, क्या क्या कारण हैं आपके जहन में, क्या क्या कारण आते हैं सामने?
देखिए, मोदी जी का मिडिल ईस्ट का जो मामला है पूरी दुनिया में सबसे अच्छा है। सऊदी और यूएई वगैरह जो है, मोदी जी से सबसे ज्यादा अगर खुश हैं वो दुनिया में किसी से, तो वो मोदी जी से खुश हैं वो लोग। उनके रीजन अलग अलग हैं, उस पर नहीं जाएंगे, लेकिन भारत की बढ़ती हुई ताकत और मोदी जी के रिलेशंस, उसने सऊदी अरब को ये मजबूर किया कि भारत का कोटा बढ़ाए।
और क्या ये दिखाता है, जो सबका साथ सबका विकास जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का नारा है, क्या ये दिखाता है, दर्शाता है कि उसी नारे, उसे ही मानसिकता के आधार पे काम चल रहा है हर मंत्रालय में, माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स में भी और फॉरेन अफेयर्स डिपार्टमेंट में भी?
नहीं, देखिए, इसमें कुछ हद तक इस मामले में हम बहुत सहमत नहीं इस बात से। कुछ हद तक ये ठीक है, लेकिन जैसे ये सिंबॉलिक विकास कह सकते हैं, ये सिंबॉलिक चीजें हैं जिसमें सबका साथ सबके विकास की बात है। इसके लिए सबसे पहले जरूरी है कि हज जो अल्पसंख्यक मिनिस्ट्री है या हज मंत्रालय है, उसमें सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में कोई मुस्लिम है ही नहीं, तो वहां थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हो रही है, चूक हो रही है। मोदी जी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हिस्सेदारी वहां दें। ये एक अच्छी चीज है जो आई है, लेकिन इतनी अच्छी नहीं है कि सबका साथ सबके विकास वाले मामले में उसको फिट किया जा सके।
मगर इससे पहले मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी वहां मंत्री थे, तो क्या आपका ये कहना है कि एक हिंदू मंत्री अल्पसंख्यकों के लिए अच्छे निर्णय नहीं ले सकता? क्योंकि पहले भी नकवी साहब थे इसी मंत्रालय में, तो उनको तो जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी। मगर अब अगर आंकड़े बढ़ रहे हैं तो वो किसी और के भीतर बढ़ रहे हैं, तो इसमें क्या खराबी?
नहीं, मैं आपके सवाल समझ गया
जी।
वहां बात हिस्सेदारी की हो रही है। मैं हिंदू फैसला ले या मुस्लिम, हमको इससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है भाई। हम जिसको वोट करते हैं वो कोई मुसलमान तो है नहीं, ना टीएमसी मुसलमान है, ना अखिलेश मुसलमान है, ना मायावती मुसलमान है, ना आरजेडी मुसलमान है। हमारा मुसलमान हिंदू की बात नहीं है, सबके साथ सबके विकास की बात जो हो रही है, कि अगर आपका विकास हो गया उससे मेरा फायदा नहीं हो रहा है
जी।
जैसे मंत्रालय में होने का जो एक गट्स बढ़ता है समाज का, मुख्तार नकवी के साहब के रहने पे एक गट्स था, वो गट्स कम है समाज में। ये बात है। फैसला कोई ले, मोदी जी हमारे लिए अच्छा फैसला लेते हैं तो हमें क्या दिक्कत है? कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन सबके साथ सबके विकास में आप किसी एक बिरादरी को हटा दीजिए वहां से, यादव को, कुर्मी को हटा दीजिए कि मंत्रालय से, कि हम आपका विकास ठाकुर करेंगे, फिर देखिए कोई उसे नहीं बर्दाश्त करेगा। ये बात है। बाकी हिंदू हमारे लिए अगर अल्पसंख्यक मंत्रालय में तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है जी।
जी, मैं अतहर जिया का भी रुख करना चाहता हूं इस वक्त। अतहर जिया, मैं आपकी भी राय जानना चाहूँगा। अतहर जिया, दीज आर रिकॉर्ड नंबर्स कमिंग इन. What do you make of this record rise in the numbers seen this year of the pilgrims?
You see, India has a second largest population of Muslims. You know, that is around 200 million. So actually, the quota for Muslim per capita as per the population was very less. If you compare it with Pakistan and Bangladesh and Egypt, our population was very high. And with Modi's effort and the External Affairs Ministry effort, it is a very welcome thing that at least some quota has around 20% increased. And in India, lot of Muslims, especially the elder people above 60, they have a very earnest desire to at least perform Hajj in lifetime. So they were denied. Now at least they have the opportunity to fulfill their dream and their faith obligation. So it is a very welcome thing which has to be appreciated. As far as single women, this is something very, very innovative and very much needed, very progressive and very, very supportive to the females whom Modi ji always is targeting for their upliftment, for their, for their power sharing and to make them independent and resourceful. In that direction also, it is a very welcome, effort. One thing I want that through your channel, if it can be passed to the policy makers and the ministers, that the quota which is being given to private operator, there is a quota system where 100 or 200 or 500 Hajj quota is allocated to different tour operators. And most of them, then they blackmail it because the demand for Hajj is much more, much more, 10, 20 times more than the quota is allocated. So that quota is sold exorbitantly, around 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees per person. If suppose I get a quota, I am assured that 100 quota will fetch me at least 2 crore rupees, because 2 lakh rupees per, and I don't have to do, I have to just sell my quota. So the government should do the modification in that and let anybody first come first basis directly apply, and the quota should be, and the Hajj permission and quota should be given to the individual, and those individual privately can choose any operator to travel and perform the Hajj. That way, this small practice of quota selling at a huge premium should be curbed. That is one my suggestion, if you can note it down and do it. And otherwise, the overall growth in the quota and as well as of the Hajj pilgrimage and as well as the management of Hajis in Saudi Arabia during Hajj time has to be improved. Last time, lot of issues were there. That has to be well taken care of. And as my friend said, that at least some representation of minorities at every level is also required. Whether it is bureaucracy, whether it is, legislatures, or whether it is ministers. After all, the minorities constitute around 16 to 17 to 18% of the population, which is huge. So they should not feel that they don't have any share in the decision making, in the policy making, and these things. That is my take.
Okay. Also, does this show, the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas slogan coming into, turning into reality on ground? Words
yes,
turning into
is.
action.
Otherwise also I agree, various government schemes, welfare schemes, whether it is housing, whether it is gas, whether it is, free food, and whether it is, other scheme, the Muslims are getting benefited like anything. In fact, their proportion is more than their population percentage. So that is there. I agree with that. But, at the policy making, at the decision making, at other places also, they are very underrepresented.
Right. Let me quickly bring in Major Ali Shah as well into the conversation. I believe he's also joined us, IMPAR panelist. Major Ali Shah, your first take on these record numbers. What is leading to this surge? What do you attribute these record numbers to of Hajj Yatris?
Uday, firstly, I would compliment the government of India for strengthening the bilateral ties with various nations, one of them being Saudi Arabia. And we can see the end results. We can see now Prince Salman from Saudi Arabia. He has a very broad-minded approach, no more how it was earlier. In other words, I would say it was a very, very conservative approach earlier. But now he welcomes the broad-minded approach. So most certainly it was a very, very good talmeal, I would say, between the government of India when they signed the bilateral Hajj agreement 2024 with Saudi Arabian Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Tawqif bin Fawad Rabia, in fact, in Jeddah. And this agreement sets a total of quota of 175,025 pilgrims from India for Hajj 2024 this year. And 1,40,020 seats reserved for the Haj Committee of India.
बातें फोन करते निकल जा रहे हैं
जी सर बोला आपने and 35,005
no please go ahead Major Shah.
Right, and 35,005 for Hajj group operators. So Saudi Arabia has appreciated India's digital initiatives for Hajj to aid Hajj pilgrims. Now earlier, I've lived in Saudi Arabia over there. The culture was so conservative that in Salah time is like the prayer time, the 5 times Salah, whenever there used to be a namaz, the azan. No one had to be seen on the streets. You had to go to the mosque, irrespective of whichever religion you are from, or whichever nationality you are from. You couldn't be seen on the streets. A lady could not go out without a mehram. Mehram is who? Mehram is the husband, father, brother, or son, unless accompanied by a mehram. So there were a lot of a lady couldn't step out without a hijab. Hijab is a black gown, not the burqa, not the abaya, but a hijab. You have to cover your head, of course. But now ladies could not get driving license in Saudi Arabia. That's like, I'm talking years back when I was there. Now ladies can drive. That's a very, very big welcome step. That's like, wow, it's rejoiced. But I think it's a very normal thing, a lady driving. And when we talk about women empowerment, Uday, I just returned a few days back after attending the Non-Aligned Movement conference on women empowerment at Azerbaijan in Baku, and I was one of the delegates over there. And I saw even there were women from Arab nations also who were there, and they're progressing. Not earlier how it was. So now when a lady from India goes for Hajj, only a lady I'm talking about right now, like we saw an Air India aircraft last year took off with all lady pilgrims. And earlier they had to be accompanied by a mehram. I just explained what a mehram is. So it is a very, very welcome step, and I see it as a deal which is going to strengthen our bilateral ties, not just with Saudi Arabia only. Because when you go for Hajj, there are people from different nationalities who come there. A lot of other Muslim nations also come there to performing the Hajj pilgrimage. So when I go for Umrah is not a Hajj, it is a lesser Hajj, which means Umrah can be done. Same thing, same procedure of Tawaf. Tawaf is the 7 rounds around the Kaaba Sharif in Mecca. And then one goes to Medina as well. Medina, it is said that the Prophet Muhammad's grave is there, but we don't believe that the grave that he's dead or he's buried there, but unko wahan pe dafnaya hai, wo alag baat hai, So these are things which are, it's a duty for every Muslim to go there. I had the honor of doing Hajj. I've had the honor of doing a couple of Umrahs as well. So our experience at that time was, for the ladies especially, there were a lot of restrictions, a lot of pabandi the unpe. You go to Medina, you go to Arafah, you go to other places, you go to many other places over there for Hajj only, which is a part of a process. So when you are doing Hajj, I just explained the difference between Hajj and Umrah. Umrah is the lesser Hajj, which means Hajj has to be done at that time, Bakra Eid se pehle, right? And Umrah can be done any time of the year that you wish to. and going near the Kaaba Sharif. That's in the Mecca mosque. It is there. What you see, but people have seen in pictures, the big Mecca mosque. That's the Kaaba Sharif, the Haram Sharif it's called. And that is a very, very sacred and a very, very holy place for the Muslims. So when subsidies are increased, when there are more reservations, when Hajj pilgrimage from India is welcome in Saudi Arabia more, I think most certainly it helps us in increasing our diplomatic and bilateral ties also over there.
Yes, let me in fact take that to Colonel Zahid Siddiqui as well. Colonel Zahid, now the fact of course very clearly is that these numbers have been rising steadily every year, but what do you believe has led to this particular surge this year for 2024? Colonel Zahid? Okay, I think we've lost that connection with him, unfortunately. Waqar Ahmed, let me quickly bring you in here on another very important aspect of the women as well. The women yatris, of course, also increasing year after year. All women flights as well going for Hajj. No chaperones required for women as well. Do you believe this has led to a surge of women also embarking on the yatra alone sometimes as well?
नहीं, देखें, ये एक अच्छी चीज थी कि कुछ परिस्थितियों में अलग अलग मुस्लिम कानून में या शरिया कानून में चेंजेस होते हैं. जैसे भारत में, अफगानिस्तान में कई जगहों पे चेहरे का पर्दा रहता है, मेरी वाइफ भी करती है, लेकिन चेहरे का पर्दा नहीं है. या ट्रिपल तलाक का जो मामला था, तो ये एक अच्छा कानून था ये कि महिला अगर अकेले भी हज करने जा रही है, अगर उस एज में है तो वो जा सकती है, कोई बात नहीं, वो उलमा समझे. और लेकिन एक अच्छा कदम था, जाना चाहिए. लेकिन मैं एक चीज थोड़ा सा कहूंगा, अतहर साहब ने अभी एक बात कही कि मुसलमान दुनिया में दूसरी बड़ी आबादी है. तो भारत में मुसलमान तीसरी बड़ी आबादी है, दूसरी बड़ी आबादी पाकिस्तान है. और उसी रेशियो में हमारे यहाँ इंडोनेशिया को, जो एक गरीब देश कहा जाता है, उसको 2,40,000 से ऊपर 2,41,000 का कोटा मिला है. और पाकिस्तान में एक भिखमंगा जो आटे के लिए लड़ रहा है, उसको 1,79,000 मिला है. और उसके मुकाबले वो पाकिस्तानी हमारे ऊपर मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं कि हम तो विश्व गुरु हो रहे हैं, तो हमें 1,75 ही क्यों. लेकिन जितना मिला है हम उसका स्वागत करते हैं. लेकिन ये चीज देखने वाली, जो आप सबका साथ सबके विकास की बात हो रही थी, इस वक्त दुनिया में सबसे कमजोर हालत में भारत का पसमानदा मुसलमान है, जिसकी लगभग 80%, 90% आबादी है. कुछ थोड़े से परसेंट के सैयद शेख, मिर्जा पठान हैं जो खुशहाल दिखते हैं और गाड़ियों में, टाइयों में थोड़ा दिख जाते हैं. लेकिन बाकी जो मुसलमान है वो बड़ा गरीब, बड़ा कमजोर है. और यहां से जब हज में जाता है तो उसके खाने पीने के लिए बड़ी दिक्कत होती है, वो नहीं खा पाता है अच्छे खाने. तो इसलिए इसके लिए ये सबके साथ सबके विकास में हमारी जो इकोनॉमी है, जो पसमानदा की जो इकोनॉमी है, बुनकर, दुनकर, कुरैशिस के गोश्त स्लॉटर हाउस वाले जो बैन हुए थे, अभी भी बैन है, तो ये अगर मोदी जी कर दे तो मोदी जी सर्व महान तो हैं ही. वो थोड़ा हम लोगों के लिए भी और अच्छी बात हो जाएगी, क्योंकि हम लोग दुनिया के सबसे गरीब और कमजोर लोग हैं. सैयद से मुगल पठान को छोड़ के, वो तो अमीर है, उनकी बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम. जो पसमानदा 80% मुसलमान है, बिहार में जाती बार जनगणना हुई है, वो हर जगह पीछे है. लोकसभा में एक एमपी सिर्फ है पूरे लोकसभा में, और उसमें अंसारी जैसी बड़ी आबादी जो है बिहार की विधानसभा तक नहीं पहुंच पा रही है. तो जो सबका साथ सबके विकास का नारा है वो अजीब सा हो जा रहा है. उसमें योगी जी कुछ करना भी चाहते हैं तो अवैसी जैसे लोग बहका देते हैं. तो सबके साथ सबके विकास के लिए मैं आपके चैनल के जरिए, जो इंग्लिश चैनल है जिसपे ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग आते हैं, तो मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा कि दुनिया में सबसे कमजोर मुसलमान भारत का पसमानदा मुसलमान है. इसका अलग से विकास किया जाए. जी
मैं अथर जिया के पास भी चलता हूँ इसी सवाल को लेकर. अथर जिया, वी नीड टू नाउ increase the seats further, as you were saying, obviously in the days ahead as well, and you had some suggestions of your own. But if we talk about women as well, obviously women, Muslim women now becoming more independent, becoming more confident under the Modi regime. We've already seen, of course, decisions like triple talaq, but now with the one specifically taken for Hajj, including no mehra, no chaperone needed, including the all-women flights as well, that is also leading to the surge of Muslim women Hajj Yatris, isn't it?
Yes, you are right. Actually, we are a part of the society, and somehow, as per the society, we also behave, and our social pattern takes place. So when the women of all religious communities and from all strata of society is getting, becoming progressive and independent and getting resourceful, and they are getting, confident. So it spills out on Muslim women also. Plus, there are some specific decisions which have encouraged Muslim women to be more independent, progressive, and feel very confident. So naturally, one of them was triple talaq, which I always supported, that it has to abolish. Then, this Muslim Hajis, women Hajis, traveling independently, getting confidence and not depending on their male counterpart and male siblings. And it is showing that the Muslim independent Hajis women numbers have increased, drastically. So, of course, that is a very welcome thing. The society has to change, and Muslims have to change. They have to become progressive, and they have to shed the taboos and other things which are basically not part of the Islam but being imposed on them unnecessarily. So Muslim community as such have to reform. They should reform and become progressive. That is the need of the hour.
Yes. What further though now will need to be done, Major Alisha, to further boost the numbers in the years ahead as well?
Okay, that's a very, very good question over there. Firstly, we have to also not just talk about, take action for women empowerment. Firstly, that's very, very important, and which we are doing. And I'm so glad to see that lady officers are serving leading contingents in the army. In fact, I had roughly thrown up an idea in the year 2008 when I had come from Nagaland to Delhi at the Army for the Republic Day parade. That time at the Army House, the Chief of Army Staff was General Deepak Kapoor. At that time, from the Chief of Army Staff residence, I was hosting the evening at the Army House. I announced on the mic over there. That is, the President of India was there, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the Service Chief, the top brass was there. I mentioned about we should also have a lady officer leading a contingent, and that's what happened now. And many years later, there was a manifestation. I don't mean to take the credit of that, but whatever you think for others also comes true. Whatever you think for yourself comes true as well. At the same time, what else can be done? Well, firstly, women empowerment is a very, very crucial step. Secondly, we have to show that we are, and see, let's not be divided about, even among the Muslim community, that, okay, there are a lot of different communities within the Muslims as well. Shia, Sunnis, Boras, then there are Deobandis, Barelvis. I had not heard of Pasmandas before this. I heard of it just recently. I've come to know of Pasmanda Muslims, कि Pasmanda Muslim भी होते हैं. तो मुझे मालूम नहीं था इसके बारे में. Now, the very fact is, when we are united, when we are together, strong, I would rather say as Indians when we come forward. Because I'll tell you one thing, in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca, there is a road, and which I somewhere do not agree with this, where there's a road which says Muslims can go this way, non-Muslims this way. So which means non-Muslims are not allowed to visit that side. So it's for their own reason, for whatever. I was for the first time I saw this, and I will not call it discrimination. I would say they must be having their own rules or whatever. So I think it's very, very important to first, because humanity came before religion, actually, if you see. So we have to first think of us as human beings, and then for nationalities. And I think faith is important, no doubt, but it's again a very, very personal matter. So firstly, I would say people should not be divided. They should all stand together proudly as one of them.
All right. Do we have Colonel Zahid with us now? Okay, I think we still don't have him. All right. Well, I'm going to have to leave it at that. We've run out of time. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.